Hi, welcome to Jazz Riff-a-Day. Today's lesson really isn't so much as a riff as it is giving you a tool, and namely a pentatonic scale. Some of these lessons are more involved than others. Some of them are a little more notey riffs, and you might want to skip them and come back to them later. This is one everybody should learn. If you're going to be an improvisatory musician, this is a tool you really want to have in your toolkit because you can use it in a million different situations. Pretty simple pentatonic scale, penta prefix meaning five, like the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Just has 5 notes. So I'm playing a G pentatonic. G, A, B, D, E, D, B, A, G. Promise I won't sing anymore. But it's because it only has 5 notes, it's really easy to learn, and probably easier to learn than all the other scales. And you can pick it up in all 12 keys, which you definitely want to do because you can use this. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with the pentatonic scale. Now, I played a G major pentatonic scale, but if you start with the top note, which is the E, then you have a minor pentatonic. So start with the E and say go down. So you get a minor sound. So with the same 5 notes, you can use it on major chords, minor chords, blues chords. I mean, it's just, you can use it everywhere. It's really cool. You can, like everything, you can overuse it, but it's definitely something you want to have in your toolkit. Now, one of the neat things you can do about learning this in all 12 keys is a common trick that jazz musicians play. Well, I mean, a lot of people do. Is you play a simple idea once, and then you play it again like a half step up, and then you come back to the original and play it that way. So it's kind of a neat effect, and of course you can do a lot more advanced versions of that as well. I'm going to switch to trumpet because I'm obviously a lot better at that than I am at mandolin. See if I can. I don't know if I've ever actually tried to play both at the same time. So here's some other stuff you can do with pentatonics. And I'll be playing in, I'll play F minor or pentatonic. F is on trumpet key, that'd be E flat for a C instrument. So one of the things you can do with this is play it in patterns, which is kind of a neat effect. This is the most common pattern you will hear people play. Right? So I'll play it slow so you can get it. Now, having told you that, I'm going to tell you not to play that. Just because that's, once you hear it, you'll hear it everywhere. And everybody plays it. It's kind of exhausting. And it's really predictable for the listener. So you can tweak that a little bit and make it much more interesting from a musical standpoint. So instead of playing a 4-note pattern, maybe play like a rolling 3-note pattern. Like this is kind of nice. So, which is, adds a little more interest. Again, if you keep repeating that over and over and over again, it's going to be predictable for the audience, so it's not as interesting. You could also do something like a 5-note pattern. Let's see if I can do this. Again, which adds further interest because it's not, the audience is expecting, like 4 or 3 notes. Oh, what's going on there? And it really draws the interest in. Ultimately, your goal should be that you get so familiar with that you're so facile with that scale, that you can kind of create licks on the fly. And there's only 5 notes, so you can't really hit a wrong note if you stick to those. But you end up with something like this. Which is the coolest way to do it, because you surprise yourself by what you're playing, and then you surprise the audience because there's no way they can know what to expect. I can't overstate how great a pentatonic scale is for you to learn, and such a useful tool. There are a lot of really phenomenal players that have made their whole career out of playing pretty much just pentatonic scales. If you listen to the early recordings of the phenomenal late great tenor saxophonist um, Michael Brecker, sorry I gapped out there for a minute, a lot of his early stuff was like 95% just pentatonic scales. He'd play something, he'd play it a half step up, a half step down, come back to it. But if you listen to, when you're listening to those early jazz recordings of his, I mean, you just think, man, this guy's phenomenal, and he is. But he goes up and down. It allows you to easily traverse between different octaves, play a lot of notes, and really wow your audience. Now, eventually, of course, he branched out and he played a lot more complex stuff than that. But pentatonic scales, really, you can use them everywhere. It's really an essential tool. So spend some time learning that. You'll put it to good use, and I know you'll have a lot of fun with it. All right, see you next time.